না। তো গাছটা না তোলার জন্য মানে আমারও ব্যক্তিগতভাবে মানে গত বছর 100 গাছি জাল ছিঁড়েছে। এবার আমাদের আশপাশের লোকদের তো মানে 10 থেকে 12 জনের এইভাবে ক্ষতি হয়েছে। আমাদের ধারণা যে মাছটা কমে যাওয়া, নদী অতিরিক্ত আগের থেকে চড়া হয়ে গেছে। আগে যে এত চড়া ছিল না, আজকের এই ডায়মন্ড হাওড়া নদীর সামনেও চড়া, হলদিয়া নদীর সামনেও চড়া। আমরা গিয়েছি পাতিখালি, নয়াচড়ে, আমাদের বেশিরভাগ নৌকাটা চলে নয়াচড়ের কাছাকাছি জায়গা। মানে ওখানে একটা বলটার দিয়ে বাঁধ বানানো হয়েছে, বাঁধটা দেওয়ার কারণে প্রচুর পরিমাণে চড়া ধরে যাচ্ছে। মানে সরকার হয়তো হলদিয়াকে বাঁচাতে গিয়ে আমাদের মানে মৎস্যজীবীদের ক্ষতিটা হয়ে গেছে আর কি।
কিছু পুঁজিপতি মানুষরা যাদের অনেক টাকা আছে, তারা গরিব মানুষদের কাছ থেকে জায়গাগুলো লিজে নিয়ে নিচ্ছে, নিয়ে সেখানে পুকুর খনন করে সেখানে একক বাণিজ্যিক চিংড়ি চাষ করছে। সেটা লোকালিটি কিছু মানুষ যাদের পাশের জমিগুলো আছে, যারা অল্প জমি, তার উপরে তারা চাষবাস করে তাদের জীবিকা চলতো, সেই জমিগুলোতে লোনা জল ঢুকছে। বলতে গেলে ওরা হুমকি দিচ্ছে, ওদের অনেক পয়সা এবং পলিটিক্যাল নেতারা ওদের পক্ষে বেশি করে কথা বলে। ওরা ওইখানে চাষবাস করার পর কি করছে, মাটি এবং জল মিশ্রণ করে সেটা নিয়ে গিয়ে ফেলছে নালায়। নালা থেকে নদীতে আসছে, নদী থেকে সমুদ্রে। নালায় কিছু আমাদের মৎস্যজীবী থাকে এবং সবচেয়ে বড় জিনিস, চাষবাসের জমিতে ভীষণ মাছ হতো আগে। এখানে সমুদ্রে যে মাছ হতো সেম মাছ আমাদের চাষের জমিতে হতো। চাষের জমিতে তো মাছই হচ্ছে না, তারপর নালায় গিয়ে জলটা যে পড়ছে, নালার মাছগুলো সব মরে যাচ্ছে এবং জল দূষণ হচ্ছে, সেটা গিয়ে নদীতে পড়ছে, নদীর জল দূষণ হচ্ছে, নদীর মাছ মরছে, আবার সমুদ্রে আসছে, সমুদ্রের মাছ মরছে।
মাছ না হওয়ার কারণ হচ্ছে যে ফিশারির জল বা বড় বড় কলকারখানার জল, এই তো সমুদ্রে এসে পড়ছে। ওই জলটা পড়ার কারণে আমাদের সমুদ্রের মাছটাই কমে যাচ্ছে।
পরে আরও একটা সমস্যা, জাল দড়ি ক্ষতি। এখানে যে মানে একদিক থেকে ট্রলারগুলো যাওয়ার কথা, সেখান থেকে না গিয়ে আমরা যে জালটা এড়ে দিচ্ছি তার উপর থেকে চলে যাচ্ছে। তাতে একরকম আমাদের জালের ক্ষতি করে দিয়ে যাচ্ছে। মাছ পড়ছে না, উপরন্ত ক্ষতির ভাগটা আমাদেরকে বেশিরভাগ নিতে হচ্ছে। আর একরকম ধরনের ক্ষতি বলতে যে ট্রলার মাছ ধরতেছে, মাছ ধরে আমাদের মিনগুলো মেরে ফেলতেছে, আমরা মাছগুলো পাচ্ছি না। তারা বড় মাছগুলো ধরে নিচ্ছে, আমরা মাছ পাচ্ছি না। মাছ না পাওয়াতে আমাদের প্রচুর সমস্যা হচ্ছে। আর এক ধরনের সমস্যা, আমাদের এখানে জলের খুবই সমস্যা। আমাদের এখানে একটা টিউবওয়েল খুবই দরকার এবং একটা ঘরের যে মৎস্যজীবীর যে একটা থাকার যে ঘর, সেটা খুবই সমস্যার বিষয়। আর একটা, যখন দুর্যোগ এসে যায়, মানুষ কি খোলা মাঠে দাঁড়িয়ে থাকবে? সেই সহযোগিতাটা যদি করেন, খুবই আমাদের সাধারণ মানুষের উপকার হয়। মানে এবং এটা করতেই হবে, এটা করা খুবই প্রয়োজন, সাধারণ মানুষের জন্য খুবই প্রয়োজন। তারপর দ্বিতীয়ত, আমরা যে মহিলারা মিন ধরতে যাই, আমরা জীবন হাতে করে নিয়ে মিনটা যে ধরতে যাই, আগে যেভাবে মিনটা পেতাম এখন সেভাবে পাই না। আগে মাছ যেভাবে পড়তো এখন পড়েনি। সে সূত্রে আমাদের সাধারণ মানুষের মেয়েদের হাতে যে টাকা পয়সাগুলো আসতো সেগুলো আসছে না, এবং মাছ না পড়লে কি হয়, এটাও সেই পরিস্থিতির মধ্যে পড়ে গেছে।
আমি ময়না থানার অন্তর্গত গ্রাম সিদুরপুর। আমার নাম মিনু মণ্ডল দাস। আমি একজন ক্ষুদ্র মৎস্য চাষী। আমরা চাষবাস করি এবং চাষবাসের জন্য প্রচুর আর্থিক অবস্থা মানে দরকার হয়। তার জন্য আমাদের মাছ ভালো হয় না, খাবার দিতে পারছি না, পয়সা প্রফিটও সেরকম পাচ্ছি না, আর সরকারের থেকে কোনো সাহায্য পাচ্ছি না, কার্ড টার্ড কিছুই পাচ্ছি না আমরা।
So those were the videos.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Pradeep Chatterjee. I think now it's your time to, yes. Mr. Saturday, would you please give him the sharing access, so if he needs to discuss.
Okay, madam.
Is it okay?
Should I share? No, it is still disabled.
Now okay, madam.
Okay, right, thank you.
Okay. Okay, actually the problems, those were actually given in the videos, all pertain to the fishing community's right to water, that is fishers and fish farmers' right to water. You see, why it is necessary, it is very clear that fishers and fish farmers' livelihood depends on fish. No fish, no livelihood. So fish needs water and good fish needs good water. It's simple reason. Reason is very simple. So fishers and fish farmers need right to water for two reasons. First, to access water bodies, to catch or farm fish, and second, to protect water bodies and fish resources. So what does it mean actually, right to
Mr.
access?
Chatterjee, that the slides are not moving.
Slide is moving.
Not moving. Slides are not moving. You can go to the slide mode. Just still we can see only the first slide.
Oh, I don't know why.
You need to share entire screen. That means just again click share screen, that in green color icon, and there then select the first option.
Okay.
Okay. Now you better share it again. When you select that share, select the first option. It mentions screen.
Correct. Now it is okay. Hello.
Yes, move one by one.
No, Pradeep, still not.
Yeah, you need to select the first option. That when you click the share screen, when you click the share screen, select the first option.
First option means?
It means it mentioned screen. It mentioned as screen. Do not select the PowerPoint one. Just select the screen one.
Okay. Is it okay now?
Now make it full screen. Let's see.
It is full screen.
No. Oh yeah, now it's
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Now it is okay, na? You
Move
see,
it, move it,
it's
okay.
moving,
Yeah, now
is
it's
it okay?
Now it's okay. Yes. Carry on.
Okay. Thank you for teaching me. I did not know. Okay. Now you see these two things. We need the fishers, small scale fishers and fish farmers need the right to water for two reasons. One is to access water bodies to catch or farm fish, of course, sustainably, and to protect water bodies and fish resources. Because if we cannot protect our water bodies from pollution, from encroachments, then what is the use in having the right to water? So what does it mean? It means that you see right to access, it means actually three things. Right to access and use public water bodies, water commons, sustainably for fishing or fish farming. Second, right to security of tenure. It is also very, very important because in our country, many fishers take private water bodies, small ponds, tanks, etc., on lease and farm fish there. These are very small farmers. A community of farmers are there, small scale farmers are there. But there is no security of lease on private water bodies. These mean actually proper and valid agreement, fixing of reasonable rent and increment thereof, guarantee against eviction. And third, right to protect water bodies and fish resources from encroachment, pollution, degradation, over and destructive fishing. Because if these are not if the fishers cannot actually oppose all these things, resist these encroachments, pollution, degradation, over and destructive fishing effectively, then the water bodies and fish resources will be of no use, as it is happening in our marine waters, in rivers, in all water bodies. It is happening. So now the present situation is this, that in marine waters, there is no actually legally unrecognized customary practices are there. And these are very often encroached and curtailed by competing interests with government connivance, force, tourism, everything are coming. Even the destructive and overfishing by mechanized boats are being sponsored by the government. So it is there. We have no right in marine waters. And rivers also generally actually legally unrecognized rights of customary practices are there. Unrecognized customary practices are there. But in some state lease was given by to fishers cooperatives. But these are now almost non-existent because of the invasion of the trade and commerce on rivers. India has announced 110 national waterways on all the major rivers of India, all the major and also medium non-major rivers. 110 major and non-major rivers have been actually put under this natural waterways. And also other kinds of encroachments are also there. Diversion of water for irrigation and everything is there. Water river pumps are being utilized to divert water for irrigation for industries. So there is a ecological disaster in rivers, and the river fishers are the most sufferer. And if you go to the villages by the side of rivers, fishing villages, you will find that they are almost either deserted or people are not fishing there. They are out for some other livelihood. So in reservoirs also, these fishers cooperatives are in some places, the fishers cooperatives are given leasing rights, but they have only right to fish right to fish. They can only catch fish, but they cannot sell fish. So some other contractors are employed also by lease, who have all the power to take the fish from the fishers and sell those to the market. But the problem is this, that they pay the fishers PTNs, very little actually money is given them. So, and also in lakes and wetlands also the same thing happens. In the ponds and tanks, actually these are privately owned ponds and tanks, and they are generally leased to the small scale fish farmers. But what happens, this government leasing system, together with the leasing of by the private owners of the ponds and tanks, they actually hiking the lease rent. And so the small scale fishers and fish farmers, they are losing access to the water bodies. And from leaseholders, they are being turned into contract laborers to farm fish in the water, in the ponds, in the tanks. And the lease is being taken over by a new class of entrepreneurs who have money to invest. And naturally, the drive is from sustainable traditional aquaculture to industrial aquaculture. So our demand is that the fishing communities have an inalienable right to sustainably use all public water bodies for fishing and fish farming, as well as the right to protect the water bodies and fish resources. We need pani patta, or title for water use right, to be conferred to the community of fishers living by and using the concerned public water body in recognition of the above right, and to be exercised collectively. And security of lease for small scale fish farmers using privately owned leasehold ponds or tanks, to ensure norms for fixation and increment of rent and protection against eviction. So this is the complete thing. And the main problem, the main scope of these demands is this, that it unites the whole community, from the marine fishing communities to the inland fishers and fish farmer communities. None of them have any right to the water bodies. They are legal non-entities. So this demand is very, very important. Even farmers have their right to land, and they are legal entities, but fishing communities they don't have any right on water bodies. So this is our actually banner for this campaign banner. Those who wield the net have the right to water. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chatterjee. I think we can discuss at the end of all the three presentations, because our distinguished actually expertise are joining with us from FAO and
Yes.
ICSF also. We will discuss at the end. So I would like to invite the now second presentation, that's on challenges faced by fisher women. It's a Sri Lankan case study. So I kindly invite Sri Vimukti Fisher Women Organization to present it. I think, I hope Subhashini is with us. Okay, if not, yes, now let's watch the video first.
දැනට ලොව දීබර සම්පත් බෞලම ඉන්දියන් සාගරයේ පිහිටි දූපතක් ලෙසත් රට මධ්‍යයේ විරිදිය දීබර සම්පත් බෞල ජලාශයන්ගෙන් යුක්ත ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ දීවර කර්මාන්තය ඉතා අතීතය දක්වාම විහිදී යයි.
It is noteworthy that in the early days, women were involved in the fishing industry with men in the traditional industry. However, after the open economics policy, due to the technological development, more and more women are leaving the fishing industry. Even today, fisherwomen consider it their livelihood and carry out activities such as carrying the fish to the villages and selling those fishes to the people, then laying nets and spinning nets, and they are doing for their livelihoods the dry fish activities also. The fishing has a massive impact on the countries. Yeah, we find it very sad that women who are the source of such an influential industry are still not given any economic security and privileges and dignity.
நாகரிகங்களுக்கு ஏற்ற தொழில்களை மேற்கொண்டும் அப்படி அவைகள் செய்து வாரவழியால் கடல் வளங்கள் நிறைய மருகி போகுது. அதனால் எங்களோட வாழ்வாதாரத்தை கொண்டு எங்களால் செல்ல முடியாமல் இருக்குது.
வந்து எங்களுக்கு உயிரை விட மேலானது உண்டு. ஏன்னா நாங்கள் கடல் இல்லாடிக்கு எங்களோட வாழ்க்கை கடல் மீனவற்ற வாழ்க்கையே இல்லை.
நாங்கள் கடலில் இருந்து வரும் மீனை கொண்டு தான் சீவிச்சு கொண்டிருக்கிறோம். எமக்கு கடல் அன்னையின் சாப்பாட்டில் தான் நாங்கள் வாழ்ந்து கொண்டிருக்கிறோம்.
ආර්ථිකයෙන් වැත්තලම දැම්ම දීවරයාව. දීවරයාව වැටෙනකොට දීවර පිටින්ද තමයි දුක් විඳින්නේ. දීවර දරුවෝ.
விலைவாசி ஏற்றத்தால மக்கள் அன்றாடம் சாப்பிட்றதுக்கு கஷ்டமான நிலைமையில மக்கள் வாழ்ந்து கொண்டிருக்கிறாங்க. அதில் மீனவர வாழ்க்கை அழிஞ்சா பெண்கள் எப்படி தலைமைத்துவம் கொண்ட பெண்கள் எப்படி வாழுவாங்க?
දීවර පවුල්වල බිරිඳ ඔවුන් මේ දුක් මහන්සියෙන් හම්බ කරගෙන දුක් මහන්සියලා ගොඩට ගෙන ඒ මසුන්ගේ පස්සස්සනු තාක්ෂණය නියත වෙනවා. නමුත් ඔවුන්ට ඒ දීවර කටයුතු කරගන්න ප්‍රවේශ වෙන මාර්ගවල් අහිමි වෙලා තියෙනවා. මේ හේතුවෙන් හින්දා අද විශාල ලෙස මේ කාන්තාවුනුත් විශාල අර්බුද රාශියකට මුහුණ දීලා තියෙනවා.
தற்காலத்தில் மீனவ கைத்தொழிலில் பெண்கள் பாரிய பங்களிப்பு செலுத்தினாலும் தீர்மானங்களை எடுக்கின்ற பொறிமுறைக்குள்ள மீனவ பெண்களை இணைத்துக் கொள்வது மிகவும் அரிதாகவே காணப்படுகின்றது. உதாரணமாக கூட்டுறவு சங்கங்கள் போல மீனவ உபகரணங்களுக்கு பெண்களுக்கான உரிமைகள் வழங்கப்படுவதில்லை. இருப்பினும் நாங்கள் சீடோ பிரகடனங்கள் அதேபோல SFF தன்னார்வ வழிகாட்டல்கள் ஊடாக பெண்களுடைய உரிமைகளை அதாவது பாரம்பரிய உரிமைகளை உறுதி செய்வதற்காக குரல் கொடுக்கின்றோம்.
රාජ්‍ය යාන්ත්‍රණය තුළ කාන්තාවන් ඒකාබද්ධ වීම සඳහා වන නිසි ක්‍රියාවලියක් නොමැත. නමුත් කාන්තාවන් තම ප්‍රශ්නය වෙනුවෙන් ගමින් ගමට කුඩා කණ්ඩායම් ලෙස ගොඩනැගී ජාතිකව ජාලගත වී අඬනගා අරගල කිරීමෙන් මාධ්‍ය සාකච්ඡා පවත්වමින් බලධාරීන් සමග සාකච්ඡා කිරීමෙන් මෙන්ම ප්‍රතිපත්ති සකසන්නන් සමග සාකච්ඡා කර තම වෘත්තීය අයිතීන් තහවුරු කිරීම සඳහා ක්‍රියා කරයි.
So, we are kindly requesting that such women should get proper economic structure and security. At the same time, they want to get the social understanding and social respect.
Okay, thank you so much for this interesting video. I think we have a lot of issues they have shown us about that, so we'll take this into account. And also it's a good opportunity for us to take this into the table of when we prepare in the SAXFA declaration. Thank you so much. Let's move to the final video of the session today. That's on Praja Abhilasha National Fisher Solidarity Organization presents Let's Protect the Fishery Industry and Secure Our future dream. That's the title of the video. Let's watch first.
தொண்ணூறாம் ஆண்டு இடம்பெயர்ந்து நாங்கள் இடம்பெயர்ந்து வந்து இப்படியோ யாழ்ப்பாணம் அங்கே நாங்கள் எங்களோட இடம் வந்து மயிலட்டி இப்போவும் மயிலட்டிக்கு போயில்ல தானே மயிலட்டியால் வந்து அப்படி வந்து யாழ்ப்பாணம் இருந்து வந்து மட்டுவிலிருந்து வந்து செம்பியம் பெற்றால் திருப்பி வந்து பேரத்துறையில் இருக்கோம். நாங்கள் வந்து இப்படித்தான் கடற்கரையில் மீனை வலியால் தட்டி இப்படி கிடுகுகள் பின்னி விற்று தான் பிள்ளைகளை வளர்த்தனான். அவன் சின்ன மீன்கள் எல்லாத்தையும் போட்டு மடி தானே போட்டு இழுத்து எடுத்துருவினேன். மறுபடியும் மீன்கள் குறைஞ்சிரும். அதால் பிரச்சனை எங்கடையாக்கள் அப்படியான ரோலறிஞ்சே ஓடுற இல்லை. அவன் வந்து பெரிய வேலையெல்லாம் ஓடுறவன். நட்டம் தானே இங்கே இப்போ மீன் வருமானம் பற்றாக்குறைண்டா நட்டம் தானே. வெள்ளாச்சிலாவும் கடல்லாம் நம்பி இருக்கிறது நட்டம் தானே. வருமானம் இல்லையாண்டா என்ன செய்யலாம்? சாப்பிடலாமோ? சாப்பிடலாம்.
ஒரு 1-2 இல்லை 200-300. அப்போ இந்த வலையின் நீட்டு வந்து இவ்வளவு இதுக்கு தெரியுமா? அந்த முனையில விட்டம் வேண்டால் இவ்வளவு தூரத்துக்கு பாதை நிமிடும், அங்கே பொங்கல் நிற்கும். அப்போ அந்த 20-30 ரோலரும் அப்படியே வந்து விட்டால் எல்லாம் அவன் பொறுத்தவுடனும் எல்லாம் வெட்டி எல்லாம் விலையும் போய் எல்லாம் போகும். அப்போ இவ்வளோ விலையும் நாங்கள் அவனை கண்டு விழுக்கிறதால் அவன் வந்து 100-150 கோடி செஞ்சு லேட நெஞ்சு. அப்போ அது வந்து இழுத்த உடனும் எல்லாம் வெட்டுப்பட்டு போட்டு ஸ்பீட்டாக இழுத்து கொண்டு போகும். அப்போ அவங்க வாரவங்க வந்து 10 பேருக்கிட்ட ஒரு ரோலில் வருவாங்க. அப்போ நாங்களும் அவங்களோட யுத்தம் செய்யலாது வெட்டி கொண்டு போடுவோம்.
இது இலங்கை இந்திய கடல் எல்லை, இந்தோ ஸ்ரீலங்கன் மேரிடைம் பவுண்டரி இல்லை. இதில் தான் கச்சத்தீவு இருக்குது. அதிகமான இந்திய மீனவர்களுடைய வருகை இந்த கச்சத்தீவு பகுதியை சார்ந்த இந்த சிறிய பகுதியில் தான் இடம்பெற்றிருந்தது. அப்பொழுது பெரிய அளவிலான பாதிப்புகள் எங்களுக்கு இருக்கையில் யுத்தம் முடிஞ்ச 2009ஆம் ஆண்டு யுத்தம் முடிஞ்ச பிறகு இந்திய மீனவர்களுடைய வருகை வந்து எக்ஸ்பேண்ட் பண்ணப்பட்டிருக்கு, விரிவாக்கம் படுத்திருக்கு. ஒன்று இந்த பகுதியிலிருந்து இந்த இந்த மன்னார் தென்கடல் கல்ஃப் ஆஃப் மன்னார் பிரதேசத்துக்கு இவர்கள் இந்த பகுதியிலிருந்து வருகிறார்கள். அல்லது இங்கே மன்னார் தீவு வரைக்கும் கிளிநொச்சி கரையோரம் வரைக்கும் வருகிறார்கள், இங்கே வருகிறார்கள் இந்த தீவு பிரதேசம். அதே போல மடமராட்சி கிழக்கு முல்லைத்தீவு இப்போ திருவண்ணாமலை ட்ரிங்கோ வரைக்கும் அவர்கள் வந்து அவருடைய ஊடுருவல் நிகழ்ந்திருக்கு. இந்திய தொழில்கள் வருகையினால் ஒன்று தொழில் இழப்பு. இது ஒட்டுமொத்தமாக எங்களுடைய மீன் உற்பத்தியில் பாதிப்பு ஏற்படுத்த மட்டுமில்லை, இலங்கையின் பொருளாதாரத்திலே இலங்கையினுடைய மீன்பிடி பொருளாதாரத்திலையும் இந்த தாக்கம் ஏற்படுது.
Yeah, thank you so much for this. Now, these 3 videos are open for discussion. So these, Mr. Francis Priyanka, do you have anything to, any clarification or any more detail to share with us? Now this is the time. Yeah.
I think Herman will explain some bit of about the video.
Okay.
I ask if I want to give some brief introductions.
Okay, I think you understand what we wanted to highlight here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Okay.
hear you well. Yeah.
Okay, because the Indian trawler issue has been there for so long and it's increased after the war ended. And people in the northern province, but not only northern province, but also in northwestern as well as eastern provinces are also affected as a whole, we are losing our fishing grounds, fish stocks, and livelihoods of the fisher people there. So in that, the small scale fishes are the worst hit because in northern province, in coastal districts, it's mainly small scale fishers. They use this fiberglass boats, and they have a lot of conflicts between the Indian trawler, mainly coming from Tamil Nadu, and in that, people are having a lot of conflicts, like even to the extent of these extended up to the level of deaths of the people. I mean, with the clashes in the mid-sea, there are so many difficulties that they are facing and clashes, so that Indian fisher got killed in certain point, and Sri Lankan fishers also got killed. So because of this situation, now Indian trawler invasion is little bit restricted with the legal system. We have a law which is enforced in 2018, number 11, and also 2017, number 18. All these laws are directly control this encroachment. Unfortunately, because of the current geopolitical and economic situation in the country, the Navy is not giving any orders to prevent them. So that is biggest problem. You may have seen that Professor Susenandan mentioning about the Kachativ issue. Recently, after this giving humanitarian assistance to Sri Lanka, the Kachativ was one of the focal, meaning one of the points that rallied around, because Indian government, not necessarily central government, but at least the Tamil Nadu government wanted to get back the Kachativ, meaning they want to come violating international maritime bound line, and they want to use our resources. So which vehemently opposed by the northern fishers. So the important thing is how to ensure our fishers, small scale fishers' life and livelihoods, environment, our resources, because they use bottom trawling and they destroy our resources because they only target prawns, and our fishers are totally against that. In that, there's a long campaign, long program. Even Professor Oscar, Professor Susenandan, even Professor Martin Barwink, we have been working together. That is Ruhuna University, Jaffna University, and University of Amsterdam, and also South African Cape Town University, and all people got together in one particular work, try to find a way to overcome the situation. But unfortunate situation is that we were not able to find a proper solution up to now. So there is a long way to go, and Sri Lankan government should take action, but we are unable to do that because of the current situation. So again, as a forum like Sri Lanka Forum for Small Scale Fishers can do a lot on this process, and think how we can have kind of a regional cooperation, at least bilaterally, and also based on the VGSSF. VGSSF very clearly mentioned about the transboundary fishing activities and these conflicts, how to solve that. So in that, we need to find some ways to overcome this situation. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Haman. I think you explained it very well. Any questions or clarifications, because the presenters are with us? If you need, now this is the time for that. Any ideas? I think so we have clear evidence that most of these issues are common to each and every countries, and the same problems we have, and say it's similar to the problems that fishers in India also facing. small scale fishes. Therefore, I think we can table all these issues at the SACSFA declaration. Any ideas you want to share? Yes, Professor Purratna. Yeah.
I have one clarification from Indian presentation, and what he said somewhere, he said that they can fish but they can't sell, and that is completely different from Sri Lankan situation, because Sri Lanka, those people who are catching fish, they are selling fish actually, and maybe some certain arrangements can be different, because some people are taking some advantage of the fish collectors, and they are taking their boats and afterwards they are selling their cash to them. But I mean, it was very interesting presentation in Indian one, because this is Panipatta is a very interesting word actually, because we also have the same situation in inland waters. They don't have user rights of, I mean, they have user right, but in Sri Lankan case we don't have any transferable rights of water. Say for example, if you are not involved in agriculture, you can't say that I do not use this water, therefore you can use this water for fishery, and that is we don't have. But in Indian case, what he was explaining, that they can fish but they can't sell them because they don't have selling rights. I mean, that is something very new to me. And the second question is to Mr. Herman Kumar. You know, that my understanding is imposing rules and regulations may not be enough to sort it out, the issue of Indian trawling, because of this resource nature. I mean, it's very open access, and even though we can say that we have rights, of course it belongs to us, but how we are going to control them, and that is why I'm thinking that it can be a part of the negotiation with these two parties, not the government actually, but the primary stakeholders who are using the resources, rather than imposing rules and regulation by the two governments, and some other hybrid solution, demarcating and understanding of the different fishing groups. They are the people who meet each other in the sea, and these are the things. And I really like to know that in Indian case, why they can't sell their fish, because it is very strange for our experience. Thank you.
Yes, I think Mr. Pradeep, I think you can little bit explain about this these contractors who has the right, why the fishermen cannot sell, and that is completely different, because yesterday we had the chance to watch about something, our Samanlava Rasoya, that we found that
First of
the
all,
situation is different.
Nilanta, first of all, I inform you that in Bangladesh, the Bangladesh constitution and in Bangladesh, they have given right to water to the fishing communities. It is already there. Huh? So we have a very important example, as we have a very important example in case of Sri Lanka, where actually Sri Lanka has banned bottom trawlers. So it is there. And now I tell you that what happens, you know, India has a very good number of dams or reservoirs. There are big, large, medium, and small reservoirs all over India. These are mainly irrigation reservoirs. So when the reservoirs were made, the people who were living by the side of the river, they were also fishing in the river and also cultivating on the land. They were evicted. So then they turned into, actually when the reservoir was installed, they turned into fishing communities, fishers. They by profession, they took fishing because of the reservoir. It happens everywhere, you know, in the Narmada case, in all other rivers, it happens. The government, to earn revenue, they have given fishing right to these fishers, but they have not given right to sell the fish to the market, to open market, to these fishers. They have again actually employed some contractors who has the lease, who holds the lease to sell the fish. So all these fishers, they have to deliver all the fish catch to the contractors. You will be astonished to actually learn that a 5 kg fish, actually the price for a 5 kg fish to this which is sold to the contractor is only 30 to 32 rupees a kg. So in the market it will fetch 200, 250 or 300 rupees per kg. So that is the difference, and it is because the government wants to get some revenue. They revenue by leasing the reservoir first, and then also the right to sell the fish to second by leasing it by water body 2 times, twice. So that is the and it is we are fighting in some areas like in the Chandil Dam, Chandil Reservoir, or in some other reservoirs in the Narmada river, Narmada Valley. The fishers have resisted it, successfully resisted it, and have not allowed the contractors to come in. But it is in some cases they have done.
Okay, thank you. I think Mr. Herman, you have some.
Thank you, Professor Kularatne, for the point that raised here. So we really admit that your point, it's very well admitted, because we, as I told you, we have been engaged this process maybe since 2004, even before the war ended. And at the beginning, it's a kind of peoples to peoples dialogue we initiated as civil society and government agencies and church agencies, fisher people's organizations in Tamil Nadu, and also in the northern province at the beginning. Also the academia, with the support of various agencies. In that, we started this dialogue 2004 at the beginning, then tsunami came, we forget that. And again, it goes up to the, the war aggregated, and it was ended 2009. Then we started again the dialogue between Indian fishers and Sri Lankan fishers, how to solve this problem amicably. In that process, we were able to find certain positive things. In fact, in a later stage, the University of Ruhuna, led by Professor Oscar, and also Professor Susenandan from Jaffna University, and also Professor Martin Bawing from Assam University, and Professor Merle Saul from University of Cape Town. Also, my organization, NAFSO, and Indian organizations called SIFS, South Indian Federation of Fishermen Societies, together with some other agencies like MEADS and so on. We had series of discussions, series of studies, series of work done by the scholars and civil society and the fisher communities together to have a kind of a negotiable solution. In fact, we had a kind of a solution, but those were not really respected by the government at all. In certain point, the Sri Lankan fisher people and Indian fisher people had a series of dialogue from Kanyakumari up to Nagapattinam. We had series of discussions along the coast and come to a certain point, and we came together in Madras, Chennai, and had some representative dialogue and agreement. Unfortunately, of course, the agreement was handed over to the DG Fisheries in Sri Lanka at that time. But the government of Sri Lanka, like Fisheries Minister and others, are not respected. But don't forget, all these are done with the blessing of Fisheries Ministry as well. And Fisheries Minister, he himself wanted to come to Chennai to receive the agreement, but he did not come because of some of the problems arise at that time in Indian side. So with all these efforts, we were not able to really successful at all with these negotiations. So in that, I would like to say that we had attempted, not only as Sri Lankans, but also as Indians, and also we thankful to Professor Martin Bawing, and also some scholars and some civil organizations in South Africa. All were together and we attempted. So maybe Oscar, Professor Oscar can explain better than me, but that is the whole process that we adopted at that time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Herman. I think if there are there any clarifications or any questions? If not, we can.
Let me
Yes, sir, let's. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Very few things, as Herman mentioned, to answer Professor Kularatne's question. It started in, as you said, 2004, where Indians, a delegation from India came to Sri Lanka. We call it Goodwill Mission. It is where it started. And this was a, three-tier dialogue. Fishers to fishers, fishers with their governments, and government to government. So at three levels, there were so many, work had been done. Every conceivable, solution has been thought of, has been discussed, and we all know what to do. We have rules and regulations like, Foreign Fishing Boat Regulations Act, very strict penalties for poachers in Sri Lankan waters, but they are not being implemented. Now we have much bigger problems because we are now begging from India, right? India had been had been giving us money now all throughout, and even now become the topmost, the donor or the lender, and above even China. So I cannot see the conceivable, in the near future that whether we can work out anything because it is quite clear. Even recently we have sent a document to the government. It is quite clear as to what we have to do, but the government is probably turning a blind eye because of all these wider political issues. And our big brother, we don't want to say anything against the big brother, and we still we are in need of further help, right, from India. So I cannot think of any solution in the near future.
We shall have to hang on, Oscar. Otherwise, what else we can do? No, this fisherman to fisherman dialogue, community to community dialogue is very, very, very important, I tell you. And there are some misconceptions by some, actually these misconceptions are given by the vested interests, everywhere we have those. That has to be cleared by us. It is our responsibility to do that.
Okay, then thank you so much. I think we have discussed some of these things, and I think it's very clear that there are a lot of issues and we can take them to the table at the next session. That's one of the most important session. We have to start at 1:30, and that's for SACSFA 2022 declaration. So if there are no any other clarifications, I will wind up this session, and there's a half an hour lunch break. And I warmly welcome you all for the next session and invited you all to join. And thank you so much for being with us in this session. Thank you.
Thank you.